In this module, we will be reviewing the impact of traffic offences and crashes. Crashes are a devastating event that can cause a variety of serious personal injuries and even death.
Out on the field, mistakes can cost you the game.
On country roads last year, mistakes cost 254 people their lives.
By driving too fast, by having too much to drink, or being too tired to drive.
Every one of those lives lost has a devastating impact on those left behind to pick up the pieces.
The mums and dads, the brothers and sisters, the husbands and wives, and the workmates and teammates.
We're the only ones that can stop this knock-on effect by looking after each other.
Remember, one mistake impacts an entire community.
A knock-on may seem like a small mistake on a footy field, but it's one that can have dramatic consequences whilst driving. Whether through tiredness, recklessness, or a lack of concentration, knock on and you've lost the ball, lost the game, and maybe even the premiership. Yet the knock-on effect while driving can be much more devastating, not only on you, but all of those around you. A mistake on the road can be tragic. Driving too fast, having too much to drink, or being too tired to drive. A mistake whilst driving a vehicle won't just hurt you. You'll be hurting your mum, your dad, your partner, sisters and brothers, your mates. Every time you get behind the wheel, think about how one mistake can impact an entire community. After watching the video, take a moment to write down 5 people in your family that would be affected by a fatality or road trauma. How would a spinal cord injury or sudden death within your family as a result of a car crash affect your life? Each year on New South Wales roads, the fatalities and injuries incurred have continued to rise. From 2012 to 2016, there were 350 fatalities each year on average. The number grew to 380 fatalities in 2016. The number of serious injuries in the last 5 years that have resulted in hospitalizations was an average of 12,200 people. In 2016 alone, there were 160 fatalities where speed was a contributing factor. That's a percentage of 46%. 83 fatalities where fatigue was a contributing factor. That's a percentage of 24%. And 60 fatalities where alcohol was a contributing factor, a percentage of 17%. How many fatalities were there in 2016 where speed was a contributing factor? Was it 350, 160, 60, or 90? Did you know that every 41 minutes someone is killed or hospitalized in New South Wales as a result of a road crash? Injuries from impact and the crash can include a multitude of devastating traumas to the body. Next time you are in the driver's seat, take a look around and think about the power of the machine you're driving. Think of the windscreen, the bonnet, the metal frame, the tires. If you have a crash on your journey, is your body stronger than steel? Let's take a look at Sydney versus the rest of New South Wales. 2/3 of road fatalities are on country roads, with the vast majority of these fatalities being country residents. However, almost 2/3 of serious injuries are in metropolitan areas. Many different factors affect the severity of the injuries inflicted. Factors include the speed you are driving, the kind of crash, the presence of airbags, if the people involved were wearing a seatbelt, and what type of object the vehicle collided with. Fatalities come in all forms. If we look at the table, we can see that in 2016, 58 fatalities occurred while walking, 8 while riding a bicycle, 164 in cars, and 64 on motorbike. 56 involve heavy trucks, and 67 light trucks. A light truck is a rigid truck under 4.5 ton tear and includes panel vans and utes, not based on car design, and mobile vending vehicles. When do you think most fatalities occur? While walking? While riding a bicycle? While driving a car? While riding a motorcycle? As the chart shows, the road toll has declined over the last 10 years. However, there has been an increase in the last couple of years. From 2014 to 2016, there was an increase from 307 fatalities to 380. This highlights the responsibility that we all have in keeping this number down. Serious injuries have declined slightly in the last few years, which is a positive movement forward. Yet, there is still so much work to be done. Transport for New South Wales has a goal of 0 fatalities on our roads. Take a moment and think about how much you think all these road crashes in New South Wales cost the community every year. Pause the video and write down your estimate before continuing this lesson. It will take you 10 seconds. Do it now. The impact of crashes on our community goes beyond basic statistics. The value of the trauma to the community has an estimated cost of $7.7 billion every year for all road crashes in New South Wales. Look at the number you wrote down. How far off were you? The effects of crashes are far-reaching and long-term, not only for those directly involved, but also for their loved ones. Your actions can lead to serious injuries, ongoing medical problems, and significant impacts on the injured person's family and friends. Your actions can lead to road crashes that place serious psychological stress and financial burdens on families. Motor vehicle crashes involving severe injuries and even loss of life can result in drivers and passengers suffering short or long-term psychological injuries such as emotional distress, post-traumatic stress disorder, persistent anxiety, and depression. These psychological injuries can affect every facet of a person's life and have long-lasting effects. If this weren't enough, think of the impacts of losing the freedom to drive and the effects that this can have on your livelihood, work, social life, job prospects, and the associated legal costs. What will you do personally to ensure that the road toll will not rise? What are the impacts and burden of a serious injury crash on families, friends, and the community? When you reflect on the fact that in 2016 there were 380 fatalities on New South Wales roads, what does that mean to you? What do you think is an acceptable number of deaths? Write down your answers in the space provided before continuing with the rest of the lesson. Do it now. What do you think is the acceptable number of deaths? 25? 60?
Last year, 348 people died on our roads. What would be a more acceptable number?
Acceptable? 70 maybe?
Actually, this is what 70 people looks like.
It's my family.
So now what do you think would be a more acceptable number?
0. 0.
After watching the video, has your original answer changed? Did the video change your perception about the acceptable number of deaths? To achieve the ultimate goal of 0 deaths and serious injuries on New South Wales roads, Transport for New South Wales has adopted a safe systems approach. The 4 elements of the safe system approach are safer people, safer roads, safer speeds, and safer vehicles. Transport New South Wales aims to improve the safety of all parts of the system so that if one part fails, the other parts will protect people from being killed or seriously injured. With all of these elements working together as a whole, the system is more forgiving of human or mechanical error and ensuring that the impact of a mistake made on the road does not result in a fatality or serious injury. The underlying principles of the safe system approach are that road safety is a shared responsibility. The human body can only withstand limited forces in a crash before this results in a fatality or serious injury. Continuous improvements in vehicles, roads, and behaviour will reduce fatalities and serious injuries. Now that you have reviewed the impact of traffic offences and crashes, we will be investigating the impact of speeding.